Hey, thanks for stopping in to We Called It. We have a fantastic show for you today. Getting off of fantasy sports and back into betting, we're going to be covering team futures, win totals, Super Bowl odds, playoff teams, all sorts of great stuff. Before we get into that, though, we have a much more exciting topic. I found this image on Facebook about what would you try to do for different dollar thresholds. And I figured that'd be a fun thing just to kick off the show with. Before we actually make our picks, let's say hi to everyone here. Ken, Dr. Kenneth Call, how are you doing?
Hey guys, how's it going?
I,
Been really enjoying completely owning Phil in a fantasy draft over the weekend. It was fantastic.
we will cover that after this exciting new topic I found. And Connor, you were in the middle of a bite, so I introduced you second. You had priority, but I saw you had just taken a bite.
That's because it's 9 o'clock, Phil, and I'm just eating dinner.
Eight
So, yes,
fifty.
thank you for
Eight
not.
fifty.
Thank you for not.
Is that a code red? Are you drinking?
It is. It's a code red zero.
Oh, zero. Okay, never mind. You're
You
good
don't
then.
you don't get those kinds of muscles with a regular code red, all right?
Yeah, dude, cows. Jeez. As I eat fried calamari mixed with spaghetti mixed with fried chicken. But I'm saving on. I'm not drinking my cows. Though.
Exactly. All right. So, I don't know, either of you have a big preference on which one of these you can do. Connor, you are not allowed to pick catch a pass as a wide receiver. That's like $50,000 in your pocket guaranteed.
Look, why would you?
I mean,
Hello?
or you could say that would make the most sense for me to take catch a punt, catch a pass as a wide receiver, or maybe even make a layup.
Yeah, I was going to say, but realistically, I'm looking at it and I'm saying $250,000, make 2 straight free throws or make a 3-point shot. Like the 2 straight free throws has got to be, if you gave me like an hour or two to practice and warm up, I think I could hit 2 straight free throws.
Oh, I completely agree. Now, I was saying if you gave me like 3 to 4 months to actually like prepare for one of these, I'm 100% running a full marathon. It doesn't matter how fast, you can't lose that one. It sucks, but for $250,000, you'll deal with it. You just gotta train up to it. But if I'm getting like 30 minutes, an hour, the 2 free throws for sure. I mean the three pointer is a close one, but I definitely gotta go with the 2 free throws.
Oh, I would also catch a Hail Mary for $1 million too.
That's in coverage, okay?
Now, yeah, you're getting covered. Are you getting covered by an NFL DB? You're not catching a Hail Mary.
That's what I'm taking it as, because like 7-yard rushing touchdown or stop Kyrie Irving.
It doesn't specify.
In 500K, it stopped Kyrie on a fast break, so I'm pretty sure you're against NFL competition once you get to like an in-game
It
scenario.
doesn't specify. It
That
just
should
makes
literally,
you like
on
catching
this
a punt.
scale, that Kyrie on a fast break, on this scale, that should be about 10 million, maybe 20 million. It's not happening.
Yeah. Apparently, people think making free throws is a lot harder. Whoever made this thinks making free throws is a lot harder than it actually is.
It's probably harder to make a layup in an NBA game than 2 free throws in a row.
Yeah, I completely agree.
I think you're right.
Alright.
There's got to be some sort of clarification here, but you're probably right. It's actually probably
And honestly, though,
DBs.
even if you didn't want to, like if it's just you with a 40-yard field goal, no rush, you're just doing a kickoff style. Give me like a month. Probably 3 or 4 months. You could probably slide one in.
Make a 40-yard field goal.
I'd do that one.
I'm saying like if it's kickoff style, like there's nobody rushing you, and you just have a ball and an empty thing.
I was the worst kickball player. I was that kid that bunted and ran to first because I was fast. That's it. So,
Okay.
no, I cannot kick a field goal to save my life. No foot-eye coordination. Never played soccer.
But the 250,000, 2 free throws, bank it right now.
Yep.
I find that hard to believe because you're. By the way, if anybody's listening outside of Phil's family, I actually thought, man, Phil wants me to play basketball. This is my freshman year in college. Phil wants me to play basketball. And I remember sitting here thinking, okay, like I can understand Pearson, like he's 6'7".
I was going to say Pearson's like 6'5", plays on the Otterbein basketball team.
Right, Pearson Huggins. And Phil, and I'm like, oh, okay, nerdy Phil, math guy Phil. And I was like, okay, like we're going to play horse or something. And then Phil shows up full on, like like athletic, Phil, which is why you tell me that you can't have foot-eye coordination is because you can play basketball and not look like an idiot, and you're telling me that the moment you put the ball on the ground, you can't do it.
Can't do anything. Never. It's our family. My dad hated soccer. Like, we always played football, baseball, basketball. Never, ever did we do anything where the ball was on the ground. I couldn't kick anything to save my life. It was amazing.
Fine, but basketball was a surprise, Phil. I'm just going to tell you that right now.
I appreciate that.
So last time Phil was in town, him and my other brother Ryan played basketball with me in this old men's like YMCA league. Man, it had to be the sloppiest game. Like, there had to be like 40 fouls between both teams in the game. It was not just a complete mess, completely way too aggressive, over physical basketball. And yeah, it's pretty amazing. Also, we lost.
It was terrible.
Great game.
I blame that on at the beginning of the second half. I tried to pass the ball, get the ball, teamwork going, and that just didn't work because Ken's team didn't move or cut. All right, that's enough. That's enough basketball and random YMCA about like 40-year-old guys and that we couldn't even beat anyway. All right, let's get back to what really matters: NFL team futures. So I have a fancy little spreadsheet up. We can look through it. I think we'll start at looking at win totals. We'll go division by division, starting AFC East. If there's anything you think looks good or bad, I guess we can just flag it. In the AFC East, the only thing I see is Patriots under 8.5 wins. I am full on into the Patriots. Were good last year, but without an offensive coordinator this year. And, Josh McDaniels, I believe, was a really good one. They don't even they have defensive coordinators calling plays on offense now. So I think it's going to be terrible. It's going to be a joke, and their defense won't be able to carry them to an above 500 year. The rest of the numbers seem about right.
Matt Patricia, right?
Yeah, it's Matt Patricia right now.
That I don't get. There are some Mac Jones believers, not in this group, not in this chat, but
I don't know.
Some out there.
I don't know. Someone kept yelling at me that Mac Jones made a Pro Bowl, like all summer long or something. He was yelling.
He did, in fact.
He was a reserve.
No. He wasn't just a reserve. He was like quarterback number 7 that got picked.
Somebody got hurt, and then he ended up being in.
Yeah, no. A few people got hurt, and a few people were in the playoffs. Yeah, not important. No, I like their. I like their run game. I like their defense. They're going to have a bunch of boring games that I won't be watching. I'm never going to bet against Bill Belichick, so I'm not going to bet the under. I just certainly don't like the over either.
Well, I'll say any other teams like Bills 11.5. That I don't know. There's nothing here, right?
There's nothing that like sticks out as saying, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I would. Are we on the East or the North?
We're on the East. You can go to the North though, because we all agree.
I'm almost. I'd have to see the rest of the schedule for the Bills, but I mean, I'm almost in for them plus 11.5. I mean, that's the only one that.
I know it's almost ridiculous, but
well, so you look at it and you're like, that's 4 free wins when you got the Jets and the Patriots, right? And I'm assuming you beat 2 at least once, so that's 5. That means you're 5 and 1.
They beat them twice. I think they run that whole division, so that's why I think you got 6 wins there, in my opinion.
And then you only need 6. You need to go 6 and 6 in your other games. That sounds plausible. Or sorry, 6 and 4. 6 and 4.
Toss up between you and the LA. If you beat LA on opening night, then you definitely go 6 and over.
If only you could see the results to one of the games before you made these bets.
Right. This is why our bets always. Just an FYI, Ken. Last year we started out like 40% wins in the first 3 weeks, and then all of a sudden we went 60% the rest of the year.
Yeah, I think I started recording it was week 4 and on versus weeks 1 to 3. Him and I were hitting 55 to 60% regularly, but those first 3 weeks really brought our average down. We also picked a lot more than we should have, but ignore that.
I've always found it really hard to pick the first week because I really want to see how teams come out, how they look, how players have progressed, but. I gotta say the one under that I really like in this division is the Dolphins. I'm sorry, for whatever hype they got, they made a few big moves. They traded for Tyreek Hill. They picked up a million running backs, got rid of a few of them too. But, with everything that came out about the whole Tom Brady thing, turns out Miami is not confident in Tua. I don't know why I should be confident in him. 9-8, not really like the best record, but if they're trying so hard to cheat and get Tua or replace Tua, I'm not confident that he's going to have a winning record. That's the type of game that I do think that the Patriots can beat them. The Jets, God, I'm just staying entirely away from them. I don't even know if their best quarterback's injured or not.
I was going to say, if Zach Wilson's healthy, it's an easy under 5.5. But if Mike White starts hitting the field...
First off, are we going to talk about how good Mike White is? I'm a huge Mike White fan.
I'm a Mike White homer.
I believe in Mike White, but too bad he's behind Joe Flacco, too. All right, that's enough about backup third-string quarterbacks.
I'll give you one hot take.
Go ahead.
Best case scenario, this division for the Dolphins. If Tua turns out to be Alex Smith, they are going to crush that. They're going to be 10-plus wins.
I was going to say, so I was going to cover the Dolphins in a Super Bowl bet section where it's like, if I like them because if I am wrong about Tua, and that's all my theory is built on, that they're not going to be good, then I really think they have a good defense. I hope their coach is good. I think he's a good schemer. He comes Kyle Shanahan tree. They have good offensive weapons. If I'm wrong about Tua, that is a team that I think is still below the Bills, but at plus 4,000, good Super Bowl odds. Anyways, let's go out.
So that's the owner who just lost a first-round pick for.
Yes, but he could be Alex Smith. I was a Tua hater, very, very loudly. I'm still a Tua hater, but less of a Tua hater because I think he could be Alex Smith.
All right, let's go on to the AFC North.
I think that's disrespectful to Alex Smith.
Hey, that guy's left leg looks like it was filleted and then put back on. Okay.
I love our focus
Alex
on the
Smith,
important things
Alex
in this
Smith.
show. One, we covered shooting 2 free throws, and 2, we're covering backup level quarterbacks between Tua and Mike White now.
Listen, this is the banter that people look for. Okay, I don't want to hear anything.
Oh, okay. So actually, on YouTube, I saw something that was like Dolphins to offer Lamar a max contract. And it was a clip of, like, Skip Bayless making fun of Tua or something. It said nothing about Lamar Jackson and the Dolphins in the same sentence. But I'm like, man, that is great advertising. I got hooked for no reason.
Name this one, how to make 2 free throws.
LeBron James watches it for 12 straight hours. All right, AFC North.
This whole thing I would just stay away from. This could be such a cluster. Like, the whole thing is just, man, what an awfully tough division.
If you look at the make the playoffs, that's where I was going to bring up, like, to your point. It is so tightly compact, and everything is so even that it's just, you're not going to get value from everything, because it's like, it's a crapshoot. Who wins the, the one-score game between the Bengals and Ravens, and stuff like that. And it comes down to a field goal with the wind and all that garbage. So I'm with you. I think this might be a good spot to look for like a Super Bowl number but I don't think anything else.
Ravens, they had 20 plus players. Active players on injured reserve last year. Where before Lamar really got hurt, they were still first place in the division. Obviously, if they can just get a lot luckier with injuries, could be better. Bengals, of course, had a great run. They definitely played over their potential last year. Then they revamped their defense, revamped their offensive line. I don't know. You got 2 really, really talented teams there. But I agree. Completely stay away from it. Always safe to bet the Cleveland under.
I really thought you were going to say the Bengals have 2 really, really talented wide receivers.
No, because anyway,
I was going to say you can't admit T. Higgins is good, can you? But anyways, the Steelers.
I say it every single week. He's really good. Really, really good.
But no, I'm
Moving
with you.
on.
I think the Bengals under is actually might be a better way to go. They still have Eli Apple, so number 2 wide receivers are gonna just rip him to shreds. The Steelers, though, 7.5 is their win total, which is just like amazing to me because nothing changed about them, and they honestly might get an upgrade at quarterback. Let's talk more about backup quarterbacks. Kenny Pickett, he's looked solid in the preseason, and Big Ben was terrible last year, but that's all.
Big Ben was terrible, but he's still a gamer. I mean, he still won games.
All right, so think of it like this. Kenny Pickett won't lose you the game in the first 3 quarters the way that Big Ben did. However, Big Ben had the better odds to come back in the 4th. I'd rather have the person who's not blowing the game for me.
I disagree. I think Kenny Pickett will blow it much worse than Big Ben.
Dude, I'm just not betting against Mike Tomlin. Only NFL head coach that's had 0 losing seasons. So, I mean, if anything, take the over. Take the over for Tomlin, but caveat is he's always had Big Ben. Always. So, that's a tough one. Like I said, stay away from the division, but if, I have a tough time fighting anything that Tomlin's going to put out.
Connor is standing here loud and proud and saying, maybe take the Steelers over.
Hey, that's the best. No. I said stay away from the division, but that's the best bet.
All right, here we go.
I think we got it. Stay away.
The division I love because it actually has something I can give. I think Ken and I agree on a hot take here. The Jaguars are a sneaky good team this year. I think they get a lot of crap thrown at them because Urban Meyer may have been the worst coach in NFL history, and that's with Hugh Jackson going 1-31 in his first 2 years as a Browns head coach. So, Jags, they get they paid a lot to bring in weapons that I thought are like at best a B or C, B minus B level.
Yes, B minus. Yes.
Yeah, but it's like I believe in I think Doug Peterson can make stuff work with stuff that isn't that good. The receiving core for the Eagles wasn't that good when he made it happen. Alshon was solid but always beat up. And then what they did in the Super Bowl, they took Corey Clement, who was nothing, and made it happen. And now they have Travis Etienne instead. I just think the Jags can be sneaky good, and the Colts and Titans aren't actually good football teams. I know the Titans are well coached, and the Colts have maybe one of the a top 4 roster in the NFL, but I feel like they don't have that pop like you saw in week 17 or week 18 last year. The Colts had a must-win game, and the Jags stuck it to them up and down the field, both ends. So they just don't have what they need to go over the top and get that must-win game.
The Colts roster, saying it's a top 5 roster, it's a very interesting concept because talk about top 5 main positions. Wide receiver Matt Ryan, over the hill, downside of his career, but we're not saying he's top 5 anything. Yep. Wide receivers, Michael Pittman and nothing else. There's a wide receiver core not that great. Offensive line, of course, they completely kill it, but they don't have the game-breaking pass rushers. They don't have game-stopping corners. But everywhere else on their team is not just well-stacked. It's, top in the league. So it's a very interesting, setup for a team, but especially in this division, I think obviously they're the favorites. The team I like now, and this is all about really coaching, but the Tennessee Titans. So last year, Derrick Henry, Julio Jones, A.J. Brown, none of them could stay on the field. What did they do? Oh, they had the best record in the AFC. Yes, they had 6 games that they won by 3 points or less. And I believe 3 of those were in overtime. One of them, the Bengals, they lost on a QB sneak on the 1-yard line with less than 20 seconds left in the game. But I like a coach that finds a way to win games. Their team it's worse on paper than last year. But if you take away Derrick Henry, A.J. Brown, and Julio from that team last year, then what they have out there this year. Now, Tannehill's game against the Bengals could really destroy a whole career. Completely tanking that bad in a playoff game. You can see people completely not bounce back. But
What's your take, Ken? What's your take on
10 minutes later?
Mike Vrabel versus the world. I'm taking him.
What? Which one?
Tennessee Titans win the division.
Win the division.
In the division.
I am out on the Titans. I am totally out on the Titans.
They were a 12-win team last year, and they're definitely not worse than last year.
All right, so hear me out.
They are. Yes, they are. They have.
In what way?
A rookie wide receiver, an undrafted free agent named Kyle.
Who were their receivers last year? They were all out.
Okay,
they
but
didn't have any.
You replaced them with a rookie, 2 rookies, and Robert Woods.
Yeah. Oh, it's not good.
Hold the phone. Wait, Ken. Ken, they didn't have a receiver. Who was their leading receiver last year? Do you know?
No,
it was A.J. Brown with almost 900 yards and 5 touchdowns. No one.
And he did a great job, except for the 7 games he didn't play.
He played in 13. So you're out.
Oh, I was exaggerating. Okay. But he was hurt. My whole point: weak division, good coach, good defense. I'm betting on that coach.
All I heard is you describing the Jags, so they're gonna win the division. That's all I heard.
I would take the Titans, no playoffs. Titans under 9 win. I'm out.
I love it.
I think the hot take is going to be that Malik Willis is starting by the end of the year.
You want to get even hotter than that? Ryan Tannehill, not Jimmy Garoppolo, is the team traded to someone else who has their quarterback get injured and thinks they can win a playoff game. That's super spicy. It's never gonna happen because I think Tannehill's like a top 4 paid quarterback, but that'd be hilarious. God, I just do that all the time, huh? Like I did that with Michael Thomas during our fantasy show where I'm like, yeah, here's fun. Mike Thomas gonna be great, and I'm like, no, guys, don't listen to that take. That's not great. All right, moving on. AFC West, Connor, we'll let you have the floor on this one to start.
Oh, this is like the AFC North. Man, I mean, this is like.
All right. Let's do this instead. Who do you think is going to win the division? You don't have to say you're putting money on them, but obviously it's such a tight race. You look at the division odds, 175 to 260. That's neck and neck, pretty much.
I'm shocked that the Chargers aren't the favorites. I mean, they have the Chiefs. Because of all of the additions that the Chargers have had and all of the subtractions that the Chiefs have had, somehow the Chiefs are still the favorite because of Patty Mahomes. But I'm thinking Chargers. Yeah, no, I'll buy into what they've done. I'll buy in.
All right, if I'm looking at the odds here, I'm saying Raiders, and this is another one where it's like these prices look correct. But if I'm wrong about the Raiders, you get the most value for it. Like if they somehow sneak through and win those close games. But in terms of straight out winning the division, I'm going Broncos. Give me Russell Wilson. Give me the new offense. I think people are underrating what Russell Wilson can do, and I think Pete Carroll handcuffed him so much that I brought it up in our group chat, and it's crazy hot. But KJ Hamler. Now that Tim Patrick's out of the picture, he's getting like 700 yards and like 7 touchdowns.
Him and Jerry Jeudy play the same role, right? So you're going to split KJ Hamler
outside? No. Jerry Jeudy is more inside the numbers and more of a technician. KJ Hamler is more, I'm just going to run very, very fast. And that's Tyler Lockett-esque.
Darius Hayward-Bay. Yeah, he was really good. He was really fast.
I'm just saying the people that Russell Wilson has succeeded with were Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf. Do you think they knew how to run a route? No. They just went one way.
Tyler Lockett was more of a technician than I would say. Okay, let me put it this way. Tyler Lockett can catch the ball. I wouldn't say he's a great overall technician route runner, but the guy doesn't drop passes.
Yeah,
I don't know anything about KJ Hamler. Nothing.
All I know is before he tore his ACL last year against the Giants, he got hit right in the chest. And it was an incomplete pass.
Good.
But I'm just saying, he's the kind of receiver that Russell Wilson has succeeded with in the past. That's why I said a bold prediction, less than 10% chance of it happening. He outscores Jerry Jeudy in standard fantasy points, and that's just because his touchdown total will be higher. Jerry Jeudy's going to have 100 catches and 1,000 yards, though.
Okay.
Dude, it's like anyone that's listening to me is just like Dude, Phil's just jumping both sides of the fences on everything.
AJ Hamler, 10% chance, but it's almost 100% chance positive that Jerry Jeudy has 10 catches.
That was a joke. Okay, no, that was hyperbolic. But my point is, if you look at in the fantasy drafts, KJ Hamler is an undrafted free agent. If you need a flyer in a bye week, put him in your lineup. He's a guy that can grab a 50-yard touchdown, and I think he does it 7 to 8 times this year. How about that? Yeah, see? Yeah, it's a lot of conditions.
You just said 8 50-yard touchdowns. All right. Okay.
7 to 8 touchdowns, big plays.
Seven.
All right, Jen, give us who you're picking. AFC West.
I don't want to spoil it, but I'm going with the Chargers. I just like what they did on the defense. They sold. I mean, they went all in on
Good pick. You agree with me. Great pick there.
Believe this, they have 2 elite edge rushers, and I love that in this division. Elite. Yes.
Like you're not allowed to use that word. Like you don't even know what it means.
You guys don't even know what it means.
We don't know what it means.
No, you don't know what it means.
Except literally every analyst ever is like, yeah, T. Higgins is definitely a top 10 wide receiver, top 12 wide receiver in the NFL. And you're like, well.
So not to totally name drop, but I was just in a meeting with a bunch of Action Network writers, and do you know what the note?
You did this earlier.
Yeah, no, you weren't there we weren't recording.
Once again.
Yeah, but I don't want to. They all had T. Higgins at 50-1 odds to win Super Bowl MVP. And if they kick a field goal at the end of the game, guess what? T. Higgins with 100 yards and 2 touchdowns wins Super Bowl MVP. Didn't happen.
It would have been Joe Burrow, man.
No, it wouldn't have. Not a chance.
Oh, if Cincy won? Oh, yeah.
If Cincy won and Joe Mixon had just as many throwing touchdowns as he did, I don't think he wins Super Bowl MVP.
We literally had this conversation after the Super Bowl. You were even saying how, like, the stat checker was saying Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
That's what you said, Phil.
Yeah. Pull it up. I don't believe you. You're not going to go through and watch that tape. All right. All right, back to the NFC.
All right.
We got the East, the worst division in football. All right, I don't understand this. Why are, the Cowboys are at 10 wins, Eagles are at 9.5. Give me the over on the Eagles wins, under on the Cowboys. Cowboys don't make the playoffs. Anyone else? Bueller?
You know, you just took away, Dak's, his
MVP trophy
for a while. He doesn't have a line anymore. Zeke's out of gas, and honestly, I think that defense was really overrated last year. I think they hit a bunch of big plays. They can't do that. I think it's going to be a tough year for Dallas. Now, don't get me wrong. This is a prove-it year for Dak. If Dak turns out to be the MVP caliber that everybody down in Texas thinks he is, great. But I'm not buying it.
Just like Brandon Weeden was the savior of the Browns, right? No, I'm just kidding. No. Connor, what do you think?
Don't compare Dak to Brandon Weeden. Come on.
I think.
Oh, no, it was Derek Anderson that made the Pro Bowl. That's my bad.
Eagles just made a sneaky trade. They got a tough sort of what's the word?
Draft pick for Jalen Reagor.
That's what I was going to say. They got rid of Jalen Reagor.
No, yeah, that was smart, intelligent. But they picked up Gardner Johnson.
Yeah.
Just yesterday off waivers to be their other corner. So they got Darius Slay and Gardner Johnson and Jalen Mills, I think. No, Jalen Mills. Yeah, Jalen Mills is there.
No, Jalen Mills is on the Patriots. They have someone else. Is it
Oh, no, they got someone from the...
Yeah, I can't remember. He's a solid number 2, but between CJ, I think is what it is, and Darius Slay, you shut down a slot and you shut down an outside receiver.
They got a safety somewhere, but I think that I think they win this division, so I think that win total above 10, I think is, what's his face has more athletic tools than Jalen Hurts has more athletic tools than Tua, so they're doing the Tua thing where they're trying to build around him and bring in everybody, but Jalen Hurts has more to offer than Tua does, so I think.
Did you see that Alabama versus Georgia game?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
But more importantly, like to the 9.5 win total, like you have 4 wins against the Commanders and the Giants. And then let's say you split with the Cowboys. They need 5 more wins. That's a 5-7 record to end the year. They're good enough to do that. They have a lot of talent, even if Jalen Hurts isn't good. Except for
I'm telling you, they snuck the 2 best picks from Georgia, Nakobe Dean as their linebacker, and Jordan Davis, the next Vince Wilfork. They got both of them in the draft this year. And plus you've got those 2 guys I just mentioned and whatever safety I can't remember the name is, but you get the point. There's 4 guys that could potentially be
safety number 34 is going to be bringing the pain.
Yeah.
All right, let's go on to the NFC North. Honestly, I think I said it when we were talking about quarterbacks in fantasy football. Bears under 6 wins. They are so bad. David Montgomery's not good at running the ball. They have Darnell Mooney and Cole Kmet and nothing else on offense. Their defense is so bad. Raquan Smith is probably getting traded by the deadline. Let's see. And then other teams in this division, Vikings to win it. I just think breath of fresh air at head coach. Mike Zimmer reports came out that he didn't like Kirk Cousins. This new guy, I think it's Kevin O'Connell, is actually building a relationship with his quarterback who he needs to, who makes like a crap ton of money for no reason. But then, if they lean on him more, they already have Justin Jefferson. They got a deep threat in Jalen Reagor now from the Eagles. I'm just kidding. KJ Osborne's their deep threat. Don't take that seriously. I'm sorry. I gotta stop with the sarcasm mid-show. But no, Dalvin Cook, they have a high-powered offense. They have their defense wasn't good last year. I think Mike Zimmer made up for a lot of the holes, but I think they can keep some of his, ethos and mentality going in. So I think they can come out and be a sneaky team to win this division now that the Packers have no weapons. Next.
I cannot bet against the back-to-back Super Bowl MVP. I know he's got not much to throw.
Super Bowl MVP? The back-to-back Super Bowl MVP?
Oh, I'm sorry. T. Higgins? Are we talking about T. Higgins? My bad.
Even worse.
No, but league MVP. I just can't bet against him. Sorry.
I'm out on him. I'm out. He's gonna do PCP before a game and then just die.
Say what you want. Who was it? Jimi Hendrix.
It's worked so far, guys.
Jimi Hendrix was popping acid on his bandana before he played guitar every night. You think that stopped him?
Eventually.
I saw a funny tweet today that said, bold strategy by the Bears to get their whole entire starting offensive line from waivers today. And also I saw another report that says David Montgomery doesn't fit the scheme. So by the way, they picked up Leatherwood, who was the
offensive lineman who set a record for like penalties caught, like committed.
So they picked up Alex Leatherwood off of waivers from the Raiders, and they picked up another offensive tackle, and they were like trying to give the new GM Poles like kudos for picking up a potential starting lineman, first round talent off of waivers. They tried. Yeah. The Raiders tried as hard as they could to go to all 31 other teams to trade him, and nobody said so. So
check your tweets again. Ian Rappaport said they tried to trade with all 32 teams, and the Raiders even said no.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think the Bears. I don't know if I'd take 6 is a lot to be. I'm sneaky on the Lions. I think this would be a hot take, but I think that they have a chance to make the playoffs here. If the Packers are bad, they can't be that bad because their defense is actually good now. But if the Lions sneak out and are pretty good, I think that they could split with everyone here. They'll win twice against the Bears, split with the Lions and Vikings, and then I think they could. I'm going over their win total, and if I wanted to get really spicy, I'd have them make the playoffs.
Do it. Plus 400. Yeah. Let's do it. Put it in the bag. It has a 25% chance of happening.
We talked about it like at the end of the year, but I mean that offense is good. I mean they have quality skill players. If Jared Goff can actually like adequately, I mean they can stick with just about any team.
Who's the Ohio State corner that needs to remember he needs to remember how to play football? That's all they need.
He had a bad first year, tore his Achilles in his second year, and we have no idea. He's fully healthy now, but he tore his Achilles in the preseason last year, so we have no idea what he's going to be in year 3. None.
I was going to say, like, when you lose a third overall pick like that
highest, I think he was the highest drafted DB ever, or
something like that. Pretty close. Jalen Ramsey's the only other one I can think of, and he was 5. Joe Hayden was like, I think top 12 or something. All right, let's go on now. So it sounds like we all hate the Packers. That's all I heard. Just kidding. Let's go on to the NFC South. I just said I wouldn't do that. I'm terrible. All right, NFC South. I love the Saints win total here. Over 9 or over 8.5, so 9 or more. They were an 8-win team last year with a great defense. Granted, now they've lost both of their safeties. I can't remember the one that went to the Ravens, and now CJGJ is gone. So that hurts a lot. But I brought it up on the wide receiver show. Their receiving core, each one of the 3 starters, Olave, Landry, Thomas, would have been the best receiver on their receiving core last year. I am the one on the show that believes in Jameis, and I'm going to believe in him once more. I hate that they don't have Sean Payton. If they had Sean Payton this year with this roster, I would say smash the over, bet them to make the playoffs. However, right now, I am just being hesitant and saying take the win total. They're going to be a 9-win team. They have enough talent, and I don't think the Falcons and Panthers are good. So. Connor?
Also, it's funny how you were like, hey, yeah, if this situation for the Saints was totally different, I would smash the over. Sean Payton, if that was there, like if he was there, like this would be like the odds would still be the same, I bet. I'm sure.
They would, absolutely. Coaches don't get factored into the odds. Look at how bad the Patriots win total was.
Okay. Lots of things. I don't like anything.
All right, so
I actually like the win total for the Bucks. I think they win 12 games.
Really? With out of shape Lenny, Tom missing 2 weeks of everything. Like
Tom can do whatever he wants. Okay?
Tom comes in ready.
Just like Aaron Rodgers can do drugs before every game. There are certain people that you just like Dennis Rodman. Okay, Dennis Rodman can do whatever he wants before any game. He can go out and
miss a few games.
Go to Vegas, be in WWE. Like doesn't matter.
Going out getting 20 rebounds.
Both like that because they didn't do anything. What else did they do to their roster? They picked up Julio Jones. They picked up 2 more weapons. They picked up they get Godwin back.
Are you concerned about their O-line? They're missing center guard from last year.
Tom had some pretty ugly lines in the Patriots, and he was like, he did okay, I would say.
Yeah, I don't know.
My only concern for that team, Julio, I don't think they're gonna, get all the tread off the tires right away. Godwin's coming in hurt. They're gonna give him time to get back in. I like Russell Gage as a 4th option. I obviously like Mike Evans. Leonard Fournette, as long as it's a guy Tom trusts, doesn't matter if he's in shape or out of shape. He'll do what he needs to do. But I just don't think that they care about the win total in the regular season. I think they're looking big picture. I think they're gonna come on real strong at the end of the year, like they should.
All right. So real quick, Panthers 6.5 is a win total. I feel like they got mocked and laughed at after like 3-0. They were like, "Hey, Panthers are a fun team. They might be, a 500 sneaky playoff team last year." They get Baker Mayfield. Do you think that their offense could actually live up to like they have weapons, right? They have Robbie Anderson a deep threat, DJ Moore a receiver, Christian McCaffrey. Who was the receiver they took like second or third round last year? Terrence Williams is the only name.
Terrace Marshall.
Terrace Marshall,
which barely made the team this year.
But my point is, like, do you think Baker Mayfield can save them? Because last year everyone said all they had a good defense. But they just were so bad offensively, it didn't matter.
They lost Stephon Gilmore, though, last year. So they've got a good front seven. They've got two good ends.
It's a young defense, and it definitely flashed.
They get J.C. Horn back. J.C. Horn was their first overall pick. He blew out his ankle last year. So, and supposedly he's like a shutdown. There's a chance. I mean, if you want to get spicy, you could definitely take a chance and be plus 6.5 on them. I mean, over 6.5.
Well, this is a good team, I think. If you look, so we talked about the AFC North and the AFC West as divisions you want to stay away from because it's a crapshoot. You know, some teams are gonna do good, some teams are gonna do bad. They're all about even though. I feel like the Panthers and Saints are two teams with a team guaranteed worse than them. If they can split with the other teams in their division, they could be a sneaky upside, like, oh, we'll make the playoffs out of nowhere team because we have, an easy schedule and things like that. So if you're looking for value, I guess the Panthers, I would say, is maybe a team that you could look at. How about that?
Not a hot take from a Cleveland Browns fan. This is not the best offense that Baker Mayfield's been a part of. Not even close. I'll take a Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt and Odell and Jarvis Landry over McCaffrey, DJ Moore, and Robbie Anderson.
I might disagree there. However, the offensive line
and a better offensive line.
The offensive line in Cleveland was much better, but I think this offense could be better catered to Baker's skills. I feel like the Browns.
Sure, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about Matt Rule's offense. Tell me how much you know about Matt Rule's offense.
I'll tell you what. What I was going to say for the Browns is they were built on 2 tight ends, 2 receivers, play action deep throws, and I feel like that a more spread option is better for Baker. How about that?
Thank you. Because I don't think you go, oh, I know all about Matt Rule's Baylor offense.
I don't know much about details on offense, but I do know the difference between run first and get the ball out of my hands as fast as I can. And that is where they are right now. All right, let's go on. NFC West. This is another, I think, crapshoot division where you're looking at 49ers, Cardinals, Rams, and it's like, who wins the head-to-heads? You get a huge advantage that way. So I'll let someone else head first. Connor, you look. We've really been running over you. You typically you're the center of the show, carrying the essence, and now we've just been talking right over you like it's nothing.
I don't like anything about the Seahawks this year at all.
So you're saying under 5.5?
Hot take.
Yes. I think they are. They might have one of the worst rosters in the NFL.
The funniest thing ever was someone was like, Drew Lock killing it today, and shows his touchdown pass in the second quarter of the 3rd preseason game, but they didn't show the 3 interceptions that came before it.
Yeah, I don't like anything about the Seahawks. I think it's going to be a stretch. I don't think they win. I think they'll win one game of 6.
In this division.
In this division. And I don't
know what game they win? They win. Who do they play week 17? Or week 18. They're going to win the last game of the season because the starters are on the bench because that team is in the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, I got nothing. on this team.
They play the Rams.
Personally, I love Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, and Noah Fant, but you can't get them. They're useless. They're completely useless on this team.
Yeah, I got nothing. I don't think that they are even. I just up and down. You got the 3 worst rosters in the NFL. 4. You got the Seahawks. You got the Falcons. You got the Bears.
There's one more.
And
Texans.
And the Texans. Those are the 4 worst rosters in the NFL. So I have a tough. And what? Let's see. All of them. Let's see what their overs are. Their win totals are 4.5, 6 for the Bears. Surprise! Smash that under. You already said. Falcons 5, and then the Seahawks. So everything is baked in probably pretty correctly here. But I don't think you're having any surprises here. There's no like, oh man, wow, Carolina started out 3-0. Tank.
All right, let's do this since it's our futures show. Let's pick our AFC West, our AFC winner, NFC winner, and our Super Bowl winner. Obviously, you can change next week before we do, because we're gonna get back to a regular show next week. If you want to change, you're welcome to, but let's just get it in writing, So, anyone feeling hot to start? Ken and Connor, you look dead serious as, like, yeah, no, I'm not doing this.
I'll say this, because I'm not going to pick one yet. Whoever wins the AFC West wins the AFC.
Exactly what we were talking about.
Whoever wins that one wins the AFC. Who do I want with the NFC?
All right, I'm going first. I'm going Broncos. You know why? Because it's cool.
Good one. I'm sure everyone's like, yeah, I'll bet that.
So I part of this is the Chargers. So I think if the Chiefs win the division, they have the best chance at winning the AFC, obviously. But also, I don't think they have the upside to do it. And by that, I mean I just think the Broncos and the Chargers on their best day are better than the Chiefs this year. Because the Chiefs, tried to play a smart kind of brand of football, or a smart kind of GM where we have Patrick Mahomes for 10 years. We don't have to win today. We can win tomorrow. So I'm going with the Broncos. I don't know. I just love Russell Wilson. And I just want a whole nother Peyton Manning-esque story going on right here. In the NFC, I am going to have a lot of fun with this one. I want to say the 49ers, but I don't trust Trey Lance enough. So I'm going to go bold. And I'm going to go with Kirk Cousins and the Vikings. I did it last year, and I picked the 49ers as my team to make the Super Bowl, and I was one game away, despite their odds being terrible. A Broncos-Vikings Super Bowl, I think, that'd be interesting-ish. Give me the Broncos to win it all. So, there you guys go. I guarantee your bets aren't any worse than mine.
I may change next week. I don't know. I like the Bills a lot. I've always liked their team makeup. I don't know. Maybe. I'm not picking this week, Phil.
You're not?
I'm not picking this week.
No one else is. Okay. Nothing?
Yeah. That's dumb. That's dumb betting.
So
get more information.
Well, next week we're supposed to be doing a standard.
Information are you gonna get next week? Just curious.
Josh Allen tears his ACL next week. Yeah, that might be some good information I would want to know.
All right.
Kirk Cousins blows out his shoulder. Kellen Mond, they bring him back after he got cut today.
He's a Brown, baby. Cleveland Browns picked him up off waivers.
Dude, I love the fact that picks 2 to 4 last year for the Vikings aren't on the team anymore. The new regime's just like, you guys suck. Get out of here.
Or every pick from 2019 till now for the Raiders isn't even on their roster anymore.
That's not true. Josh Jacobs, or was he 2018?
I think it was their first and second round picks, every one
the
of them.
The last 3 years, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Alex Leatherwood.
Well, Phil, I'm definitely piggybacking off of the foot you were just talking about. AFC West.
Minnesota is going to the Super Bowl.
I'm picking the Chargers, though. They're going all in. They got an aggressive coach. I'm really hoping. I know you're talking about Herbert earlier. I want to see it step up from him. I want to see it happen. I like to see that progression. I like to see us talk about a new stud quarterback in the league. I want to see that. I think they did everything they needed to on the defensive end. And if everyone can stay alive and healthy, I mean, they got just as good a shot as anybody from the AFC, so I like them. And another team that you did talk about, but I'm going with the 49ers. Why? Because I absolutely love all the playmakers on their team. Big fan of Kittle, big fan of Brandon Ayuk, big fan of Deebo Samuel. But really, Kyle Shanahan, he does a great job with quarterbacks. Trey Lance, he had a year under him to, sort of learn more about the offense. And he has all the tools that he needs. Hopefully, with the right coaching, he can do that step up. He can have that, honestly, it's, I know, bold one, but like a Mahomes like jump in that second year, I want to see it. So those are my two, 49ers and Chargers.
And who wins the match?
Bills, Rams. Bills, Rams. I don't care what you guys say. Bills, Rams. There's my pick.
What happens when Matt Stafford's tendonitis kicks him out for the first 6 weeks? No.
Wofford, whatever the heck his backup is. Wofford, whatever his name.
Look at his backup in there.
Don Wofford.
Jared Goff.
Don Wofford.
I'm just saying we could wait a week and see more information on it.
All right.
Could. It will just confirm my picks.
I need some winners. Who's winning the Super Bowl?
Did you pick a winner?
I have the Broncos over the Vikings because Kirk Cousins in a big game. What are you talking about? He's gonna make it there.
Play a few big games to get there.
He'll make it there. After that, he's screwed.
Bills. There.
Are we doing all AFC? Yep.
Chargers. I don't know. Just looking at the teams, I don't think NFC teams. The Rams, obviously, they have maybe the best wide receiver in football. They have the best. They have the best high end players in football, really. If you're looking at their top 5 players. But outside of that, I don't see anyone with a lot of firepower that can keep up with, the Broncos. They have a ton of good high-end players. The Bills, great high-end players. Bengals, even the Ravens, they have good corners on D that can make plays. I just look at the NFC and it's just meh.
Ooh, NFC sucks.
Yeah. All right. By the way, Connor, I drafted in the 5 spot for my family fantasy football league last week, and I did the same thing you did. Got Justin Jefferson, waited and hoped Saquon would fall to me, and he didn't. And then that broke my heart. So I think I did the same thing. I was helping my friend do a draft, and we did the exact same. No, he drafted Dalvin Cook with the knowledge that we had that Saquon isn't falling. And fortunately, he had Dalvin Cook because Saquon didn't fall. So, the 5 spot is the worst spot to draft. My family league's team is screwed because of it now. But, it is what it is.
5 through 7 is not a good spot to be.
Oh, I drafted for my dad because he couldn't make it in this league at the 7 spot. And tons of people fell right there. I got to tell you, 8 and 9 did a bad job because the 7 team turned out one of the best.
Did it though? According to ESPN's rankings, we'll see. We'll see.
Came out the best.
We'll see. We'll see how me and my horde of backup running backs who will one day take over do.
Hey, if Madison gets traded, you had Madison.
No, Kareem Hunt. Say that for Kareem Hunt. Madison's not on my team.
Or Kareem Hunt, either one.
All right. All right.
I'll take one of them going to the Commanders.
Oh my gosh, dude, they hate Antonio Gibson. I don't know. Did we mention Antonio Gibson as a guy not to draft? I thought we did.
No, it was on all of our lists, and we ended up not.
That sounds like something we would do based on how this show has gone today. Any hot bold takes you have for the season? Anything? Don't care at all. Besides, can you get hotter than KJ Hamler outscores Jerry Jeudy in fantasy this year?
Somebody with tight ends don't suck.
Evan Ingram, sneaky dark horse, top 6 tight end.
What's that? Did you say? Did you just say the Jags are going to make the playoffs? That's what I heard. Because he's a Jacksonville Jaguar.
That's it. You got it.
Oh, by the way,
pick David Njoku.
the friend I was drafting with, who I was helping out when I told him don't draft a quarterback, and then Dak Prescott fell to like the 11th round. And I'm like, dude, you gotta get Dak. Like, the upside is there, everything is there for him. They're gonna rely on their passing. And he goes, no, we've committed this far. I'm not drafting a quarterback until like as late as possible. So, in the 14th round, he drafted Trevor Lawrence. This was after he had drafted a defense, but before he drafted a kicker. So he said, I believe in Trevor Lawrence, you know?
Not bad.
I'm not against skipping on Dak. I'm definitely not against that.
At round 14, you know what? If you can get Trevor Lawrence, good for him. Trevor Lawrence for MVP. Jags make the playoffs. Jags win the Super Bowl. I
was ready for you to say he picked our favorite guy, Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones, soon to be replaced by Jimmy Garoppolo. All right. That's all I got. Have a good night. Deuces, people. What a terrible sign-off. Badoop.